Welcome back! My name is ballerscuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1984. Today, we're going to talk about Sabre Wulf. The story of Sabre Wulf takes us back to Ultimate Play the Game. We have talked about Ultimate Play the Game before. They were responsible for Jetpack. We last talked about Ultimate Play the Game in our video on A Tick Attack. Much like the company's other games, there's not a lot of information about the development of Sabre Wulf. It can be assumed that Tim and Chris Stamper worked on the game, but there's just not a lot more information than that. Sabre Wulf is an adventure computer game. The player plays as Saberman, an explorer with a pith helmet. Saberman must explore through a jungle maze to find pieces of an amulet. The maze is laid out in 256 screens in a 16 by 16 grid. It is full of enemies that will attack Saberman. Saberman can fight back with the use of his saber. However, a fast wolf, the Sabre Wulf, is immune to the saber. If the player stays too long on a single screen, a bushfire will chase the player. There are also orchids that can be eaten for some random effects. Some of these effects are positive, while others are negative. If the player is able to collect all pieces of the amulet, the player can move towards the exit, bypassing the Guardian, and win the game. Ultimate Play the Game released Sabre Wulf for the ZX Spectrum in 1984. That is the short backstory to Sabre Wulf. With that now told, it's time to play the game for ourselves. And here we are in the game. This is Sabre Wulf. Now, we are on the kind of classic Ultimate Play the Game startup screen here. You can kind of select all the different options here. You basically have two. How you want to control and how many players are going to play. Of course, it's really only a one-player game. If you choose two-player, then kind of one person goes right after the other. I would highly recommend playing this game with a joystick. The keyboard controls are not particularly good. They are Q, W, E, R, T, basically the first 5 keys on the top row. Q and W are left and right, E and R are up and down, and T is to attack with the saber. Those are not intuitive controls for me. If you are used to them, maybe you can do well in this one, but I will do what I can in this one. This game is very difficult. We'll show that off as we go, but don't expect me to do well in this one. I am much better at A Tick Attack than I am at Sabre Wulf. The games are very similar, as you can see. So we'll get into the game. Let's go ahead and start. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to spam attack the entire time that I play this game. Like a lot of Ultimate Play the games, that's kind of how you have to play it, or at least that's how it appears to me. You just have to spam attack and hope for the best. So let's get in. I'm sure there's more strategy than that, but that's the strategy I'm going with today. Are we going to get in? No music, but I hit the button, so we should be getting in. No? Let's try it again. There we go. There's the startup music. All right, so we're going to go left to start. And you do have to. And I'm already dead. I already lost a life. All right, let's just head up here. Okay, we're going to avoid that guy. The fact that that guy's over there, that's not good for me. Okay, we're killing enemies, thanks to my spam attack. That's a dead end. And I died! I killed one, but not the other. I don't fully understand. The problem is that the enemies kind of go between screens. And I died twice right there! Alright, I kind of need this to work for me. And reversed controls, thanks to me grabbing that orchid, but I am invulnerable. And then okay. I told you I wasn't very good at the game, but I almost broke the high score. I'm like halfway there, so we'll try again. You do need the orchids in order to succeed in this. We're gonna go over to the right and then up and left. Okay, let's kind of hope for. Like I haven't figured out like the pacing of getting through some of these enemies when I'm attacking. I need this. Why does that guy keep killing me? Like I said, I'm attacking constantly and it's just not enough. Okay, there we go. Double speed and invulnerability. That is what I need to make it through. And hopefully I can at least show off getting one orchid. Or not one orchid, one piece of the amulet. But I believe that they are scattered and they're in different spots depending on where it loads every time. Okay, so let's try again. Like I said, I haven't quite figured out the pacing on my attack and where I have to be and where the actual attack is. And that's something that you need to do. Both of those enemies up there are invulnerable. The rhino and that native. Let's go with that. It's a little problematic, but that is what he is. All right, that was actually one that I wanted. Okay, is that orchid gonna grow? Yellow is death. Fun. And then you start back up. And there is the fire. The fire will kill me. So let's go back up here and try again. All right, got all of them. We'll try it going down this way. Couple times I've had the amulet down here. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. Thought I hit him. How? Like, you just have to keep trying. Yeah, I've had the amulet show up here a bit. A piece of the amulet. There are 4 pieces you need to collect. And dead again. We're gonna go until I can at least break the high score list. This is awful, but this is how difficult the game can be. What is that? And reversed controls, but invulnerability. So I will accept it. And reverse controls again, but invulnerability. Death. Alright, well, my reversed controls went away, but so did my invulnerability. Yeah, that guy will not die to the orchid, but he will... Or not the orchid. He will not die to the saber, but he'll at least go away. Okay, let's go up here. How? You weren't even close to me. Okay, up here, and there is a piece of the amulet. 1 piece is all that you have found. Collect 3 more and outward bound. Yeah, you need all 4, and then you need to find your way out. All right, double speed, and then I got one immediately. That turned me back to normal. Hooray! All right, just constantly attacking. Didn't matter there, though. All right, there we go. Just regular invulnerability. I feel like you almost have to rely on the orchids in order to make it through this. That's death, and I tried to run away, but apparently I didn't run away fast enough. I swear sometimes. All right. Let's go up here. I think this is where I was before, though. Yeah, this is where I got the piece of the amulet. Let's go this way and try to avoid... I don't think I can avoid that, but we're going to try. I woke it up, but I was able to get away from it. I don't understand. I only completed 6 of it, but you know what? I made the high score list, so we're going to call that a day. Yeah, this game is very difficult. Like I said, it just kind of requires you to figure out where your saber lands to the pixel and where the enemies can hit you to the pixel. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to do it. Hooray! I was 5th, and that's going to be good enough for today. That is the game played, and with the game now played, it's time to talk about how it holds up today. Playing the game today, I do have to say that the game is fun, but overly difficult. This is a very difficult game. For the time, it's even considered a difficult game, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But it does a lot of things that I would consider a little unfair, but there are some things that I think were me not being very good at the game. That it was just kind of my fault that I died. I believe, looking back at the footage a little bit, that If I move forward with my character and attack, that I'm on the aggressive side, I have a much better chance of killing the enemy as opposed to standing still, letting the enemy come to me. Chances are they're going to kill me when that happens. So I think that was something that I started seeing in the footage, but I didn't feel when I was playing the game. That might help me, but there's still so many things that are unfair, I would say, that would kill you in the game. From not really understanding where, let's call it a hitbox, is for my character, where the sprite itself, where my character actually looks like he is in the game, is not what the game considers where my character is. There seemed to be a bit of a gap where my character would touch something that I didn't think he touched, and that would kill me. There are other times when you go on to the next screen and something kills you and you just don't know what it was. There are times when you just kind of move along, you don't see the enemy, but the enemy came and you weren't attacking, so you die. Stuff like that kind of happened a little bit too often for me, and that made this game almost unfairly difficult, but there are ways that people have developed around it. So maybe it is just me and my lack of skill overall. But overall, I would say the game is fun. The gameplay is very fast. It is addictive, even though I started getting frustrated with it the more that I played it because it just kind of seemed unfair from time to time. The graphics are very good. We have seen very good graphics from Ultimate Play the Game. This game is no exception. The sound, I think, is decent. It's more clicks than anything else, but the music at the beginning and, the intro is nice. Overall, it's a good game. It's just, from a modern perspective, clearly a product of its time, especially with the difficulty level and kind of the unfairness of some of the deaths. That is definitely standard for the time and difficult for a modern audience to kind of go in and be used to. So it's hard to recommend this to a modern audience, but if you want something difficult and you want something fast-paced and you're interested in older computer games, especially more European computer games, since this was, of course, released for the Spectrum, this is definitely a game for you. But if that doesn't really sound all that appealing to you, this probably isn't a game that you would enjoy that much. Although, like I said, I had a little bit of fun until the frustration started kind of sinking in. And that's my modern take on the game. When the game was released, Sabre Wulf proved to be popular. It has been reported that the game sold 350,000 copies. This was in spite of a higher than normal price set by Ultimate Play the Game. This was an attempt to stop piracy of the game, with the idea being that if players paid more for the game, they'd be less likely to give the game away to others. The critics were also positive about the game. In particular, the graphics and gameplay were praised. While the gameplay was seen as similar to a tick attack, Sabre Wulf was seen as a superior version of the gameplay style, although the difficulty level was seen as high. Sabre Wulf would be ported to other computer platforms in 1984, including the Commodore 64. All versions were received well, and as time has gone on, the game is typically considered one of the best games for the computer systems where it was released. Sabre Wulf would see sequels of sorts. We will keep an eye on these as we continue. With another success on their hands, the Stamper Brothers and Ultimate Play the Game would continue to create games in the future. We will hear from all of them again as we continue as well. That will do it for the story of Sabre Wulf for now. My name is ballerscuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video when we take a look at some other stories of the year.